Hi, welcome to Monterey's Cooking. John Pisto here. We are talking about mushrooms again, okay? These are a mushroom that we just received not too long ago. I see these in the local markets, all right? These are called black trumpet mushroom. They're also called the blue chanterelle, and they're also called the black chanterelle. And you can tell why, because they are black. Now, these are very, very hardy mushroom. We have already cleaned these, folks. I should have left one open for you. But what they are very long and have these nice curls around the leaves. Okay, we've opened them up and cleaned them. These are extremely hardy mushroom. Here's maybe a better shot of it. These mushrooms have the ability not to bleed when you cook them, so that it will remain, the color will remain. You know, some of the agaricus or the portobello, when you cook it, if it's a little too mature, the brown juices run and starts bleeding and over everything, and it discolors a little bit. This doesn't do that. That's why this is real versatile. I'm going to make a pasta with this, with a touch of cream and a little bit of mushroom stock. This is a very, very hardy mushroom. You can do anything to it, and it just you don't hurt it. So what I thought I'd do, see, what we did with these is we broke them in pieces like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. I've gotten some leeks here, and I'm going to do the same thing with the leek. I've already washed this, by the way. We got the heat on. Good. And, of course, we're going to start with a little olive oil. I got the pasta water going. This is one of those real quick dishes. You come home, you get your black trumpets, and you cook them. Sounds like a Mardi Gras dish. Well, okay, let's put some shallot in there, and we'll just dice that. Now these mushrooms are going to, these are going to shrink. They've got a bit of liquid in them, so they will shrink on you. Okay, and of course we've got to get some garlic. Let me move that out of the way. So we're going to put these in almost at the same time, because like I said, it's going to throw a little bit of liquid. We want to kind of get that liquid out of there. So what we do is we let it water, and then we'll keep reducing it. See, we've been eating pretty good today, so I won't make too much. Now, I tell you, when we do these, we clean them this way because in the bottom, sometimes there's a tendency to have a little sand in them. So this way you get them out. Now, when you're eating raw mushroom, or when you're eating wild mushroom, folks, you know, sometimes it's a little gritty. And, you know, that's just part of the mushroom. And, you know, please don't send your dishes back to your host or hostess or in the restaurants unless it's real, real gritty. But, you know, sometimes the nature of the mushroom is that it is gritty. And that's just the way it is. Okay? So, you know, kind of expect that. The thing that you got to remember about wild mushrooms is that they are wild. Everyone's not perfect. And I think that's the beauty of that everyone's not perfect. Okay, you see how that's reduced down? Okay. I might as well put it all in. Yeah. You guys did a nice job of cleaning these, Mario. Okay, let's give it a little pepper. Let's give it a little chili. Let's crush red. We just want this to cook just a taste. Just get this. Whoop. Boy, that really is a hardy mushroom. Okay, now, as that reduces, you see how it flattens out. Put that on high heat. My pasta's ready. Now, this is some mushroom stock I made earlier. We want to make sure the mushrooms get cooked, folks. That the onion gets cooked also. So just keep that on high heat. Then later we're going to do something else to it. Okay, we got our hot water going here. We got our salt here. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pasta. This needs to cook just, okay, this pasta is gonna take about 8 minutes, and this will be cooked. When we come back, we'll put the dish together, and you're gonna see a very colorful dish, okay? Okay, you see how this reduces down? Now we're gonna put it right back. We're gonna do a little cream in there, not a lot. We're making a sauce now. That's all I'm doing. Okay, now if you didn't want to use cream, I'd use stock. It would work. Okay. Okay, see how easy this is? Now, this, you don't even have to strain it. Now, you know when that pasta's done by looking at it, and that goes right in there, folks. Just like that. So you don't have to strain it, because I want the water to dilute the richness of the cream. Now, if it needs more, what we'll do is add my other favorite thing, which is just a little bit of butter, and that's just to make the dish shine. Okay. So now you got the black trumpets, you got the nice looking threads of the leek. Let that, see how nice, you see what happens when that starts to, makes it very, very, very shiny. Okay, some of that. There's the mushroom. This is good for any of my buddies like Miles, Tom Verga, all my good Italian boys. Okay, a little bit of cheese. And you got a very, very delicious dish of black trumpets with pasta, a little cream, a little stock from mushroom. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. This is another soup. I like the soups right now. It's I think we're moving away from soups, I think, which is kind of bad. Because soups are nice. You know, soups feel good in the stomach. They're warm. They're easy to make, real quick. And, you know, we should eat more soup. So I thought today what I'd do is make a very, very classic soup. Okay, let me get this real hot. And I'm gonna make a classic onion soup. Let's call it California onion soup, all right? There's some things that always have to go in there. However, I didn't make a stock. Today, I had a lot of mushroom trimmings. So what I've done was made a real strong stock out of mushrooms. And I just used all the stalks and the, you know, whatever things I wasn't going to use, even some that weren't real good. You know, I use those. And what you got to do to make this soup, there's a couple of things to making a real good onion soup. One of them is you use a lot of onions. And you literally burn them. I mean, you don't want to burn them scorched, but you want to caramelize them. And it takes a little while, and like I said, but you got to put a lot of onions. So I'm putting white onions. I'm using, oh, I forgot to take the skin off of this one. Cut them thin. I'm using white onion, yellow, red. And I'm even going to put a little leek in there, and some garlic, and some shallot, so that we get all these nice onion flavors. Everybody loves onions, don't they?
Sure.
Yeah, everybody loves onions, sure. Everybody loves onion rings. So chop this thin, real easy, like that, like that. And the other key thing that's very, very, very important, but we're gonna let this just brown, just like this, is you gotta add a little butter after. That's another secret. There's about 3 or 4 of them. And so that you don't cry when you're peeling onions, you know what the secret is? Chop them fast and get the heck out of the way. Because the fumes are coming up. Never had trouble with onions making me cry too much. Except today, probably. No. And the rest of them, we do them under running water. Very slow running water. Okay, we're going to put some shallot. And I'm going to put some garlic. Here's the garlic. And this is on full blast. And let's start moving this around. Reduce, reduce, reduce. And you got to have that. Nothing like a nice bowl of onion soup with a piece of toast on it. I mean, you know where onion soup was invented? Of course, France. French onion soup was in Paris, in the bistros. That after the theater, after you've gone to the theater and you're hungry, but you don't want to eat a big dinner, you just want a little something. They'd go and they'd have a nice bowl of onion soup with the big crouton on top and the cheese floating. Boy, I mean, it's nice and rich. And that's just enough. That, another, maybe a little glass of wine, and then you can go home with a nice little warm stomach. Okay, you see how this is browning up? Okay, this takes a little while. I'm going to let it go half this, and then we'll add the butter when I come back. Now, at this point, you add a little butter. Okay. You see when this starts to soften, it's still a little brown. Now is when you add your butter, folks. Okay, just add a little bit for moisture. Now you're going to think we're ruining a pan. Well, if it's not stainless steel, you probably are going to ruin it. But what you're trying to do is really cook those onions. Now, you can do it, we can do another way, is cook them very slow, but we're blasting this out. Okay, now let's put the first tasting ingredient, which is a Madeira. And let's reduce that. You smell that? How nice that smells? That's the first thing. Now this has got to be reduced down to I would say almost a paste. Now all this stuff that's on the bottom is going to really contribute to your whole soup, because when we put the liquid in here, it's all that's going to come off. Okay, now we got that. I want to put some stock. Now this is a mushroom stock. Now the real French onion soup calls for a very rich beef stock. But you know what? We had all that beautiful mushrooms today, and we made a nice stock out of it. So that's what we put in. And I'm going to put, this is 2 quarts of mushroom stock. We used about 5. This is the onion skin. Now, you know why? That wasn't an accident. I put onion skin in my stocks because what it does is gives it color, and I want it dark. So that's why you put onion skins in. Make sure you take them out, though. Otherwise, people think you're throwing all your garbage in your stock. Okay, there's another piece. All right. Okay, now, you see what's happening here? Ooh, that's getting thick, isn't it? Looks good. Okay, next key ingredient is Worcestershire. Put Worcestershire. Now, a Frenchman taught me this. Put a little bit of sugar, just a little bit. Now, he was from northern France. Okay, I haven't put salt yet. Okay, we want this to come up. This has to take, we want to get those real caramelized now, okay? So let's let that boil and soften those onions up. Okay, folks, now this has been cooking. We gotta add the cognac. Nice shot of cognac. And then the other key is the port. Now you add a good port wine to this. Now let that alcohol cook off, and we add the port wine to it, which is right here. Now you should taste that. You want to cook the alcohol off. Okay, let's see. Pretty good. We'll put a little of this. We didn't put any salt, so let's put a little salt. Put a little pepper. Let's put a little bit more port. And this is getting ready to bake in the oven. Boy, I wish you could smell this. Yes, sir. Okay, so when you go into the bistros, you know, this has definitely a lot of nutrition in it. I mean, look at all these rich items in it. Okay, we put that crouton on top. And we're going to put Parmesan, but the French, you know, they like to use the Swiss cheese or Gruyere, but we're going to put this instead. And it's okay to do that. And then you bake it in the oven, and you let the cheese melt into the soup, and then you have a nice glass of wine, and I'll tell you, you have something very, very delicious. Okay, we put one in there just to show you. And when it comes out, you can see how the cheese is melted around. You see that? And before you send it out, what you do is you put another shot of port wine on it. And folks, I tell you, you try this soup, you'll never forget it. This is the best. Absolutely delicious.